wrestling fans of all ages, shapes, sizes, genders, and everything in between. It is time to go to war and be VicTori for the Common Wrestling Podcast. Welcome to the revolution.
Buzz, guys. My name is Kate Murphy.
What's going on, everybody? This is Will Tarashuk, the founder of the Kings of the Rings podcast.
What's going on, guys? It is I, the one and only Quiet Riot himself, Zach, your host of the Young Lions Perspective.
What's up, guys? This is the Monday Night Delight.
Greetings, one and all. This is your Prime Minister speaking, your favorite Canadian, Mr. Fretz.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is NateFNGreat from the Game Changer podcast.
If you're looking for a network that keeps wrestling real, then you've come to the right place because
you're listening to
You are listening to
You are listening.
Then you are listening.
Get ready for a war because you're listening to
What is going on, everybody? This is King Ricky Rose, your general manager, and you are listening to Wrestle Addict Radio. Now enjoy the show.
Are you ready?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Please welcome Mr. Fretz.
These battle scars tear you apart, eat you alive. Nothing on earth can stop us now. It's in our hearts, soul in our minds. These battle scars.
Ladies and gentlemen, celebrating 5 years as a podcaster, introducing Nate the Great!
A dream tag team match that we'll probably never get, but oh well. Welcome to the Game Changer Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed your host with the most, the champ that runs the camp that is Wrestle Addict Radio, Nate the NateFNGreat, being joined here by the one, the only, the Billy Gunn to my new age road dog, that being Mr. Fretz. How you doing, good sir?
Eddie Van Halen, this one's for you. And I spilled again.
Well, it happens.
Oh man, I'm devastated. Like, Eddie Van Halen, my all-time favorite guitarist, passed away a couple of days ago, and I just got a notification that someone who was in the Red Hot Chili Peppers for their first album, one of their former guitarists, also passed away, and both in their 60s. That's just so damn young. And yeah, other than that, I'm doing adequately good, sir. How about yourself?
I am honestly doing pretty good. I will say this is kind of not a wrestling deal, but this is kind of one of those things where I think it's going to be interesting. I actually watched the first and second Cars movies in a matter of 24 hours, and I will say this, that you definitely do see like the immediate drop to where you're just like, wow, this is going to suck worse, isn't it? Yep, it is. Come on. But it's got Michael Caine in it. It just, no, not even Michael Caine can save this movie. I'm sorry. Just, it's just interesting. But also, major shout out to one of our people who do the announcing for the shows, that being the one and only Mike Rome, who is celebrating a birthday this month. So happy birthday to you, Mike.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Oh my gosh. It's just one of those things that every single time we play our intros, it's just so filled with nostalgia every time we do it. And also getting the chance to say happy birthday to any one of them. It's great. It's absolutely great. But ladies and gentlemen, we have an action-packed show for you tonight. We are going to be reviewing a wrestling movie, of all things. We're also going to be covering some random subjects matter throughout the week, and a special announcement that is going to shake the very foundation of the GCP at the end of the show. But let's get into the main topic here. We're talking about a wrestling movie. We have a lot to say about this movie. Nope, it's not The Wrestler. It's not Fighting With My Family, although those two movies are absolutely amazing. It's one of a culturally interesting movies. I definitely would say it's a cult phenomenon because there's some people that think it's a masterpiece. There's some people that think it's a piece of crap. Yes, it's 2000's Ready to Rumble, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God help us. Let me just drink a little bit more of this.
By a little bit, I think he means he's going to be finishing off that can. Nope, I'm surprised. Maybe we'll have to wait until...
I'm gonna savor this, man. I'm trying to cut down just a little bit on the drinking, but yeah, Ready to Rumble. You know, this is the WCW movie infamous for giving us a celebrity WCW champion in one David Arquette. And in recent years, David Arquette has returned to the squared circle, including almost freaking dying in the ring against, I think it was Nick Gage or something at a Game Changer Wrestling, no relation, event over WrestleMania weekend last year. But yeah, just to get right into who we have and who is in it, we have various members of the WCW roster, including wrestlers who were no longer in the company at time of release, including Perry Saturn. This also had Sting, Sid Vicious, Bam Bam Bigelow, DDP, Prince Iakea, Rey Mysterio, Billy Kidman, to name a few. So we had David Arquette as Gordy the Law, as his wrestler name, Scott Kahn as Sean Sugar Daddy, Oliver Platt as Jimmy King. Of all people to play an old pro to play the Stu Hart in this movie, Martin freaking Landau playing Sal Bandini. Like, how? You had Caroline Ray, who I believe was from Third Rock from this... I don't know if she was in Third Rock or Drew Carey. She was in one of those 90s, early 90s, early 2000s shows that I definitely watched. And then we had Louis Arquette, Dave's dad, as the father of Jimmy King. That's the actors that I wrote down, including an uncredited appearance by one John Cena.
Yeah, that is always something that's really funny, is that when I first saw like reviews for this, it was from Wrestling with Regret. Shout out to Brian Zane. He mentioned that at first I'm just like, oh shit, he is in this movie. Interesting. Then I remember us talking about, what we're going to be planning for the month, and I thought, what's kind of like a scary thing that we could watch that might be something that we can review? Oh, you know what? I'll finally watch Ready to Rumble and see if I'm going to absolutely hate it or if it's just one of those things that people are over-exaggerating about. About an hour and a half, maybe more later, I'm one of those people that's kind of indifferent about it. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm glad that I got to see it at least once, but is this going to be one of those things where it's going to be like a holiday or a yearly thing? Oh, hell no. No. If I want to see specific scenes, I'll just pull it up on YouTube, which one scene in particular is one of my all-time favorites just because of what happens. But, yeah, the story itself literally is two, I guess you could call them super fans, literally trying to get one of their all-time favorite wrestlers back into the ring, but there's an evil booker that's involved with this. They have this, like, triple cage match to kind of patent things off. It's a really very discombobulated story when you kind of see it, because you have Gordy, who's not only trying to get King back into wrestling, but he's also battling with his family. No pun needed there for that, because it's not a plug for Fighting With My Family, because that movie itself is miles ahead of this. Because the dad's like, no, you're going to be a police officer. And Gordy's just like, no, I'm going to be a wrestler, and it's going to be awesome. He's like, no, you're going to be a wrestler, just like your mom and your sister. I don't know why I made him sound like Vince McMahon, but it just happened. That scene in particular was one that I was just like, what the absolute fuck? This is one of those things where I am literally going to be putting an expletive on this, and there's going to be so many what the fuck moments in this movie. I'm sorry, but just that scene really was just had my head scratching. Like, wow, this is like dictatorship, basically. Just saying like, oh yes, the wife is going to be a police officer and sister's going to be a police officer. Oh, she got her first shot on a vandal today. It's like, oh, this movie would not hold up that well in this day and age. No.
Oh, yeah, that's a big a big yikes right there. And as soon as I saw their outfits, I was instantly reminded of the movie Super Troopers.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I was just waiting for a friggin' farmer to come in. There was like, yeah, can I get a liter of cola? It's like, liter cola? Do we sell liter cola? It's like, oh yeah, don't spit in that cop's burger. And my just sideberg on that, but my favorite part of that entire movie was Sergeant, I can't bloody think of his name, but he's trying to give a heartfelt speech, and then they play a prank on Rabbit with putting a bar of soap in his coffee. It's just like, they're just fighting over it quietly. He's like, hell, just give me the GD soap. I was just waiting for friggin' like Farva, Rabbit, and that hot blonde chick to come out. I have Super Troopers 2 right behind me, and I haven't watched it yet, but, man, unfortunately, we're not reviewing Super Troopers. That's, man, that's something, there's a future show right there. That'd be great.
Yeah, we're reviewing Ready to Rumble. So, some of the other high/low points of this movie, the fact that Gordy and his friend are sewage truck guys, it's one of those things where you definitely would expect a lot of shit humor to be involved in this, and it's, oh gosh, it is, goes from, like, ranging from, like, mercifully bad to unmercifully bad with the shit humor. Just, ugh.
Oh, no, there's a joke later in the movie that is, it's clever, I think, but it's too good for that garbage. It's like when they're having a break. I don't think we're going to go scene by scene here, but I did write my notes like, oh, thank God. I did write my notes as if I was going scene for scene. Maybe I'll save this for Patreon. No. By the way, that's the $20 tier will get me to review this movie. So there's a spot they're having a mental breakdown on the way home because Jimmy King just got Montreal screw jobbed out of the WCW title against
DDP.
Sinclair DDP. But here's the thing: Bischoff was supposed to be in the movie. He was supposed to be Titus Sinclair. We had the guy. I didn't write down the actor's name. He was a good heel. I'll give him that. Basic at best. And I'm like, okay, they're going to screw job this. So they're coming home. They're driving home on the highway in their sewage truck, and they're both crying because they're both marks. And it's like, Jimmy King. And then they tip over, and then the poop goes everywhere. And then a truck hits it, and toilet paper flies out. A toilet paper truck hitting a sewage truck because poop is funny. But I don't mind poop humor. I think it's kind of funny. But that's too clever for this. That was. Good Lord.
There are quite a few jokes in here that was literally like, yeah, this has no right to be in this movie because it is so good. I will say that the chemistry between David Arquette and Scott Caan were, they honestly worked off pretty well to each other, but at the same time, the characters that they play are just so unmercifully dumb that it's just like, wow, there's so much of this that I really hate about these guys. I just want to see them get punched all the way to it. And we do get a couple of those, including one of my favorites, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later. I will say that, them basically being like, oh man, you got to do this, you got to go back and, beat them up and blah, blah, blah. Just, it's an interesting story. It's kind of one of those things where this felt like it was just a giant work of sorts that kind of crossed over into a bit of a shoot of sorts, because looking back at it, you would look at it and be like, there's no way that two guys off the streets would literally be like, oh yeah, we want to see you get back in the ring, and he would be like, okay, get back into the deal. It just doesn't seem like it's very, it doesn't seem like it's very kayfabe. So it's just literally one of those things where it's like, fiction mixing over into reality. Very, very interesting to say the least. But yeah, just and plus, like so many of these other characters that we could talk about, just really did not do that much of anything. Although I will say that the whole deal with Scott's character and Melanie, who plays the role of "Hey Wendy." Sorry, I had to.
Is she the super? Wendy, the supermark.
Yeah.
The chick that I'd rather go with than Sasha, by the way. Yeah, Sasha may be the head Nitro girl, be smoking hot, but be a total heel. No, man. I'm going with the supermark, to be a supermark with me. Although these fans in this movie kind of insult the intelligence of the average wrestling fan, and I didn't think that when I was 16. This movie came out when I was 16, so when I saw this back then, like, God, that was 20 years ago. Oh man, I'm old. But and I didn't think of it that way because I was a mark. You know, I keep saying that word, but I hate it. But it's just the way I was. I didn't think it was real, but I wasn't even on message boards until like 2003, so I wasn't quite Gordy at this point in time. But
oh my gosh!
Excuse me. Yeah, and just the whole thing here was the frosted tips. You had a spot here when they had a fantasy in 7-Eleven with the Macho Man and DDP, and the friggin' frosted tips by Scott Conn here was just mwah. I had a part here early in the movie, right before they hit that suction cup thing. The sewage from their truck, it looks like on the camera angle, it's dripping on their sandwiches when they're eating. I know it wasn't, but I'm like, is that supposed to be symbolic of some kind? Oh yeah, because this movie's crap, that's why. Then you had the part where they played a prank on David Arquette played a prank on Scott Conn while he was using the portal potty, and he was like, I know that look in your eyes, don't do it. He's like, what? Don't do it. If you do it, Jimmy King gets hurt. So, of course, he puts the suction cup to the back of the portal john where Scott was defecating, and shit happens. Quite literally. Oh, and then Jimmy King got hurt. And, let's see here, we had... Did you see the bracelet that Buddy was wearing there? That old school leather?
Oh, my God. Yes, the WWKD. What would King do?
I went to a Renaissance fair in 2001, and I got bracelets exactly like that, made up for me and the girl I was dating at the time, and it just instantly reminded me of those. She was a wrestling fan, too, so nice. I'm disappointed that didn't work out. Oh, and there's a spot here where they're talking about something about their left nut. If you only have one, is it still your left nut? I'm actually going to text my friend and see how he sired 2 kids with one. No, I'm not. He doesn't. I don't talk to him anymore. But
Jesus, Fretz. Wow, you're a piece of work sometimes.
No. Long story short, infant hernia, 1 nut. Anyways, we had a really good tag match early in the movie with the Filthy Animals and Prince Iaukea that looked promising if it was part of a wrestling card.
Oh God, that's right.
Rose McGowan playing the head Nitro girl Sasha, and I could see the obvious Eric Bischoff, Vince McMahon parallel with Titus Sinclair here. So you had the King, and there was this thing that Jimmy King was doing. I was looking at him thinking, okay, this guy is friggin' King Corbin. And then he comes out and does, I'm the king of rock. I won't sell rock until I retire. Like, why are you doing friggin' Slam Master J, Run DMC crap here when you're supposed to be snooty and royal? Like, But I'll say this, that Jimmy King hit a nice neck breaker and a nice double axe handle crown. We see that slingshot spot. saw Sid do a power bomb. Yeah, I'm covering a wrestling match in this now. And the greetings from Asbury Park by Bam Bam Bigelow, God rest his soul. And I thought about this for a second. With this screwjob thing, is this movie about Bret Hart?
If it was, then we would have gotten a sharpshooter and an early call of the bell. So I'm going to say no, but at the same time, I could see some weird parallels to it.
Yeah, that's what I got out of it. And then I had the whole, fate happens for a reason, and then I'm going in order here. So there's a spot here where they're hitchhiking because the sewage truck is broken. And, of course, the trope of the quirky van full of people. This time with nuns. And then there's, of course, you have the nuns, and you're singing, Kumbaya, my lord, except it wasn't with Steve Austin and Kurt Angle. You had them singing, Michael, row your boat ashore. And then in the next scene, of course, I have an advertisement here, and I'm probably going to get us kicked off of YouTube. But then they start singing. Hang on. Yeah, there's something funny about nuns singing, "Running with the devil." Oh, God rest Eddie Van Halen's soul. I'm just going to be sad again. Favorite guitarist ever. I said that already. So we had, I can't think of his, oh no, wait, they're the farting nuns. That's right. It's like, hey man, did you fart in there? No, I swear to God. They're the farting nuns. And I thought that was Natty's gimmick for a while. Stealing my ideas.
Jesus.
They run into, you've seen American Pie, right?
I have.
So they run into the Shermanator playing in a really, really bad PS1 arcade game. We've seen all the stalker superfans here who are sending wrestlers' fan mail to their home address, which, don't fucking do that! And this takes that to a whole new level in the infancy of the internet. Like, it's kind of cringeworthy. And, oh yeah, he sings Britney Spears. And as soon as I saw friggin' Jimmy King coming from a trailer park, I thought of The Rock. Dearly trailer park trash.
Oh, man, a year prior to seeing that. Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, from there we see Jimmy King first denying the guys, but then later on it's like, all right, fine, let's do this. Let's see what happens. They sneak Jimmy King into a Nitro by, what a shock, a giant porta potty, which we get a bit of a nice, backstage deal. Apparently the WCW heavyweight title was the hardcore title, but then St. Clair's just like, no, it's not sanctioned. It's not happening. So they make a matchup, and then we get the trailer park scene where we get probably two of the best scenes of this movie. The first one being effing Mean Gene Okerlund.
Do you think I'm sexy?
I think you're sexy, man. I think you're totally sexy.
God, I miss Mean Gene.
Oh my God, I do have one funny story because I was actually talking to Val about this a couple days ago, and she actually had a conversation with Mean Gene, basically saying like, "Oh, I saw this scene. I love this scene." And Mean Gene's like, "Oh, you saw the movie?" She's like, "Yeah, you're probably the only one." Even Mean Gene admitted, God rest his soul. So it's like, yeah, this movie was crap. But one King Booker would sing praises about it, and then get laughed at by Big Show and John Cena. Just, oh man, that was a good flashback though. Then we also get a scene where literally Sasha and Gordy have intimate moments, but instead,
foreign objects.
Oh my God, that's the best.
Let's take this to the bedroom. Put your moves on me in here. She wants to bang.
He
and
thinks
he's a sweet, like, yeah, he's as friggin' suplex her. I'm a virgin too, but I'm not a desperate, lonely virgin like that. Holy
Okay,
crap.
okay. To be fair, it's one of those things where I actually appreciated this scene because you have to remember that super fans love to get feisty when it comes to that kind of stuff. And let's face it, what super fan has not tried to do that in the bedroom? Vicky Guerrero admitted that when Eddie and her were married, that there were points where they were wrestling in the bedroom. She said it was one of the best parts of their relationship. So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, sometimes women like to be wrestled down in the bedroom. It's one of those things where it's like, unless you're a wrestler, women approve it. Let's just say that right now.
That's hot. Huh.
Yeah. So it gets really weird because then there's like this side story of basically say Claire's hired Sasha to be the girl that's going to sabotage everything, and then she used to be the head Nitro girl. Oh, whoop-de freaking do. No redemption story. Okay, well, moving on from that deal. Then we get to meet Sal. Oh my God, was this guy just...
Yes!
He's another gem in this movie! Oh my God. Just...
Of course he's a gem. It's Martin Landau, for Pete's sake.
He
shines everything he's in. He's a legend. God rest his soul.
Let's first talk about this, though. The fact that literally the first thing we see from this guy is literally just like groaning and shit going up upstairs. They go on, they check out. Sal's just literally just like, wanna wrestle? And he lets out a bunch of teenagers from his gym. Some of them having various injuries. Some have like a cast on, some are limping, one just has a head brace on. It's literally like, oh my God, this movie would not hold up in 2020. But at the same time, this is kind of funny. And literally Sal just beats down on Jimmy King. There comes a point where it seems like he just got killed by Jimmy King, and then Sal's just like, nope, clunk. It's like, what the absolute fuck is this movie? And somehow I love this part of the movie.
Yeah, he plays a real good Stu Hart here. He just gets him here, and there's something I wrote down here. When they're going on the road, cue my own worst enemy. Man, this movie's so 2000. They're just missing friggin' Britney Spears. Oh, wait, there was a Britney Spears part in this movie, too, when Scott Conn was singing, "My loneliness is killing me, yeah."
Oh, God.
I must confess. I'm not going to stop right now.
Oh, my God. I will say this, that was a scene that dragged on way too long. That was one of those things where it's like, oh, God, please, no. Also, they played the same song twice in this movie, which was that, please tell me why.
My Own Worst Enemy by Lit.
Yeah. They play that like twice. I'm like, what the absolute fuck is this? Did they just run out of budget?
It's the year 2000, bro.
I mean, it's a good song.
2000.
Please tell me why. The title's on David Arquette.
It's like every movie from the year 2000 has this, Butterfly by Crazy Town, and Take a Picture by I can't think of who it is, but yeah. So it's this song, right? I tell you, man, this was teenage years for me. I got a few years on you, but this was blasting in the halls of Brock High School all year long.
Oh my God! So from there we have literally Gordy and Sean bring Jimmy King to like this abandoned barn area where literally they're trying to figure out like people to bring into their like posse, and literally it's just like Jimmy King just beating the shit out of them. Also, Gordy's father's like, "No, we're gonna take you and make you join the police force because reasons." Because it's gonna make so much more sense at the end of the movie. Fuck.
Satan's Siamese twins. A guy mistaken this for tryouts for Oklahoma the musical.
Oh my God, I love that
cover. A terrible effing cover of "We're Not Gonna Take It Anymore" by Twisted Sister. Ooh, that sucked. Fireman Fred, the Chewer, And I wrote down. Oh, I wrote down right after that. Sean, please bang Wendy. And I think that actually happened.
It did.
And by the way, DDP upside down means pussy.
Oh my god, yes. That was one of my all-time favorite moments in there. That's one of those moments where it's like, even if you're like watching this in 2020, you appreciate a good joke like that. Just because we're gonna fast forward to the Triple Cage deal. Literally DDP and Jimmy King, they're fighting. It looks like he's going to DDP looks like he's gonna just handcuff Jimmy King to the cage. Sean just throws this like salt at DDP's eyes. He's like, "It's like idiot. That never works." He realizes he got cuffed to the cage, and that's where we get that moment where I'm just like, "Okay, that was worth it. This was worth the price of admission." Just seeing that line right there. Oh dear God! But this match itself, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain to you what really happened with this. So it's a triple cage match where literally you have the big cage where you could just fight and blah, blah, blah. You have to climb up to the secondary cage where there is weapons. Ooh, very much like Lethal Lockdown. Then there's the third cage, which on the very top of it, you have to literally reach for the title and take it down. Oh boy, this sounds like that Dungeon of Doom matchup. Oh boy, in the words of Brian Zane, it hurts. Oh jeez.
That's not the one where Abdul the Butcher got electrocuted in the chair, is it?
I don't think so. It was like it was an early Hulk Hogan experimental match of some sort. I don't know.
Oh, Uncensored 95. Oh, yeah, that hurts. Excuse me a second.
So, yeah, during this matchup, we get literally just a fight, a brawl, stuff like that. But then it looks like we get that reenactment of the of King of the Ring 98 where Taker tosses Mankind off of the cage, but not through a table. No. He just gets tossed from the top cage to like the third part of the cage. Oh, that's crazy. Then we have a moment where DDP looks like he's going to get the win. Out comes Sting, who is literally the greatest part of this movie. Because St. Clair literally is just like, "You're a freak. You're going to help me whether you like it or not." And Sting is just slowly just sitting there. I'm getting my paycheck. To which he follows up this like attack on DDP with going down to Shawn and Gordy and just says, says, "Jimmy King's all right by me." And then we have that moment where literally Shawn is playing no homo, but one of the best things where he's just like, yeah, I love Jimmy King too, and we can admit man to man, we love Jimmy King, and I love you, man. Sting punches him in the face, and then Corey's like, "Do me next." Again, greatest part of the movie was Sting. I defy anybody to tell me otherwise. He literally was there for like not even like 2 minutes, and he accomplished so much. And when I said like, you want to see these guys getting hurt, this was one of those moments, and this was amazing. So,
yeah, I think I actually stopped taking notes at this point in time because I'm just like, God, end this.
Yeah. Oh no, it did end. So Jimmy King and DP, they have a nice battle on the top of the cage, and by nice I mean very choreographed and very Jimmy King does his, I think he does like a back suplex or something like that. I don't even remember what it was. But then DDP goes from 1, 2, all 3 parts of the cage, lands on the canvas. He's pretty much dead. Jimmy King gets the belt. Hey, everybody win, happy ending, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, and Gordy and Goldberg beat down the cashier who was a bit of a dick to them earlier. Just because reasons. And then we also see Sal. He's fine. He's recovering. He's in a hot tub with 2 gorgeous ladies, which I will say this. That I looked at one of the ladies, one of the Nitro girls. I'm pretty sure one of them was Charmel.
Yes, yeah. And she eventually became a manager for the artist formerly known as Prince Iakea, someone we're going to get to know. Damn it, we're going to do one of those shows. But Yeah, and another one of those girls, I don't know which one, but one of the Nitro girls would become the spouse of one Shawn Michaels.
That is true. That is very true. I did forget about that. Oh my gosh. I will say, this one of the weirdest things that they could have done in a movie was was literally that was Shawn and Gordy beating down Sinclair, and then just literally tossing him into the fans, where literally it's just a sea of people just going beating him down. It's like, what the absolute fuck? You know something? I would not be surprised by this. So all in all, Ready to Rumble. Was it worth the watch? Yes.
No.
Was it one of those things that I'm going to be watching it like on a yearly basis? As I said before, no. No, this was one of those movies that at least I got the chance to see it. It had its gems. It has its moments. But, yeah, there's a reason why this is just better left buried back in the tomb of forgotten movies that we would like to just wish never existed. With a budget of $24 million, it only made $12.5 million in the box office. But, I mean, at the same time, it's still pretty impressive that they at least got that much out of it. They got half of their budget back. But at the same time, it also does speak volumes as to what exactly this movie was. And with a rating on Rotten Tomatoes of 23%, this shows you the kind of movie you would expect from this.
On, I think, Sunday or Monday, I got a text from you, Nate. God, this movie sucks.
That's right, I remember that.
And the only thing I remember from this movie, other than some of the funny parts that were actually funny, is just David Arquette being just a defensive little child. Wrestling's not fake! I mean, my friends who don't watch wrestling, they call it fake. I'm like, yeah, so? Like, I was talking to someone at work today. Like, yeah, I know it's fake. But he also said choreographed. I'm like, oh yeah, you want to see a guy get hurt? And I showed him something. He was talking about Machine Gun Kelly, so I showed him the time Kevin Owens powerbombed him off the stage.
Yes.
But,
oh my god,
it's
that's
like
great.
the one thing that irked me was just like, wrestling fans, we don't need to be so defensive, especially when people use the F word in wrestling, fake. And I thought, it's like, yeah, it is, but so is Game of Thrones, so...
Oof. Don't want to get away with saying that, man. Oh, boy.
Yeah, the last season sucked ass, and I've never watched a frame of Game of Thrones, and I know the last season sucked ass thanks to the rant.
Oh, man.
Speaking of the rant, this week on the Rant Foundation, got to give a big shout-out.
Actually, you know what? I think this would be a good time for us to pause and take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we will continue that thought.
Ah, yes. Time for another beer.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We will be right back.
Greetings, Earthlings. This is the Resident Rainbow, the Kate Murphy of Kings of the Rings podcast. For just $5 a month, we invite you to join our Patreon, where we give you lovely listeners a community to talk wrestling in a place where you are appreciated for being exactly who you are. You can join our group chat where we share everything from news to memes to a sweet 15% discount on our Teespring shop. You gain access to exclusive content made with love just for you. Speaking of love, your general manager King Ricky Rose and I can tell you a thing or two about love on our exclusive video series Love and War, returning to your headphones very soon. Come join the party, make friends, and come visit my island on Animal Crossing, only on the Wrestle Addict Radio Patreon. You'll be glad you did.
What's up, everybody? This is Will Tarashuk, T as in Thomas, ARASHUK, but you already knew that, because this is one of the hosts of the Kings of the Rings podcast. And guys, we are releasing new content every single Thursday on Wrestle Addict Radio. We cover it all from WWE to NXT to AEW and beyond. So join us every week, Kings of the Rings podcast. We'll love to have you, and you won't regret it.
This is your pool party captain, Randy Fitzsimmons, and you're listening to the Game Changer podcast. Pew pew!
Oh my gosh. Every single time I see Randy Fitzsimmons, it's always a fun time. Welcome back to the Game Changer podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm NateFNGreat, being joined here by the one, the only Mr. Fretz. And before I rudely interrupt him, you were just beginning to talk about some of our good friends over at the Rand Foundation.
Yes, this week on the Rant Foundation, not only did we get a live show on Tuesday night with Philium and Issa, still have to listen to that because I really want to hear about Phil's feelings about Mustafa Ali being the leader of Retribution. If they go the way that I hope they are, it'll be all right. If you want to learn about that, listen to Kings of the Rings this week. They kind of echo my same thoughts. But yeah, we had the return of the 5-Second Rule podcast with Shiny Head Kyle and friend of the show Brad, and it was just as insane as it always is. Butt rock. This time it was butt ballads, and I told them that your next mission, your next EP, if you will, is ballads. So I expect, don't know what you got till it's gone, or like knocking on heaven's door, hey, 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 hey. All the $50 tier will get me to sing again, and I switched to non-alcoholic beer, so you're all in luck. Yeah, it was a great show, catching up with them, and Ant's doing some stuff with I think trading cards now. Oh, the dugout or something, and I think it has something that it's inspired by his dad, the Rant Father's former family business from back in the day. So yeah, Ant's got some great stuff going on. I'm sporting my Rant with Ant shirt here tonight, and yeah, the 5-second rule is something that has just been so necessary, at least in my life, because I was working overnights for a while, and I had to load up my stuff with podcasts, whether they were from Wrestle Addict Radio, Cultaholic, Wrestle Talk, because I needed something to bide the time. 5-second rule, well, has made me laugh and made the time go by so well that I almost destroyed a case of eggs. I almost destroyed an entire freezing unit at my workplace from laughing so hard and running a floor buffer or putting up stock. I dropped crackers, but that's as far as I've gotten. I think when they started singing butt rock, I'm like, okay, I have to have something fragile, not in my hands. Shout out to Ant.
Oh, man. Ant is absolutely amazing. Definitely shout out to everybody over at Rand Foundation, as well as at the 5-second rule, coming back probably for once a month, but that's totally fine by me. I will say this, that I was a guest star on the Apron Bump podcast this past week, and honestly, it was a fun time. It was really good to talk about the show we did. Was it Final Resolutions 2005? I think it was.
Yes, Final Resolution. I listened to half your show.
For some reason, I keep thinking it's a different title name, but going through the card and just living up all of this stuff that got the chance to watch and just either enjoy or just literally roll my eyes at, and then literally seeing AJ Styles getting flipped in an Ultimate X matchup. Are you kidding me, sir? How are you still alive? Was just absolutely great. Just absolutely fun. So definitely check out the Apron Bump podcast, guys. It's really a fun time to show. Just a great atmosphere. Definitely something that you will enjoy. I quite enjoyed it myself. And it seemed like a lot of people enjoyed that too. So again, check it out. Give them a like. Give them a follow. Definitely worth listening to. And also, TNA during that time, oh, it's just absolutely great. Also, screw you, Jeff Jarrett, for being that Triple H.
Oh, yeah. I was an avid watcher of TNA, as I said before, from about 2002 until 2007. So I remember Final Resolution well. I mean, it was right after the was it that Triple X versus AMW steel cage match, that tightrope walk by Elix Skipper. My goodness, that is the best cage spot in wrestling history to this day, and I will die on that hill, and you can fight me over that. But yeah, that was great, and you had a great undercard. Yeah, sure, you had. I think you still had Jeff Jarrett, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall as the kings of wrestling. No, not Claudio Castagnoli and Chris Hero different and worse king of wrestling because they were friggin' Elvises. And was this not... No, this wasn't when Randy Savage made his last ever wrestling appearance. It was just after or before this. I can't remember, but
I want to say
he had a great appearance on Apron Bump from what I've listened to so far. So it was good. I like that dude. I don't know his name, but shout out to Apron Bump guy.
Apron Bump guy. You know, the sad thing was, I think this is one of those situations where I actually forgot to ask him his name too. I feel so bad. But he's such a cool dude. So definitely, like I said, follow him, listen to his shows. They're absolutely just wonderful. Oh gosh, some of the things that I got the chance to chalk up on as far as wrestling this week. You mentioned, of course, the big one being Mustafa Ali being the leader of Retribution. Bit of a shocking turn of events because I don't think a lot of people were expecting Mustafa Ali to turn heel. But at the same time, is it necessarily a bad thing? Well, no. I think it might be kind of cool to see where they go with this kind of deal. And honestly, when you think of Retribution, I think that Mustafa Ali is the one guy you can definitely say deserves a lot of it because he probably could have been WWE champion last year, but unfortunately suffered an injury, which kind of set him back and definitely hurt his chances of possibly doing that. So maybe this is a good step forward for him to possibly getting back in that world title picture.
I just hope they don't give him like a name like Light Bright or something like that.
Oh my god, that's right. I forgot to give him stupid names.
Yeah, the way I think about this is, so last year, Ali was getting in line for a push that unfortunately he lost due to injury, and then Kofi took his spot, basically. And it gave us the best feel-good babyface moment in WrestleMania in recent years.
I was there in person, which was amazing.
I know. I was sitting in this living room, drunk out of my skull, watching it live, celebrating and crying, and then tweeting everyone I knew who was African American who were just touched by that moment, awesome. And then he goes and gets forgotten about for a little bit. And then he comes back, and then you see these mysterious hacker things. Then that gets pushed by the wayside. If all that roll up into one is his motivation behind this, and hey, maybe a feud with Kofi versus Ali, yeah, sign me up. And maybe even put in a little bit with 205 Live and how he almost got the Cruiserweight title. If you have all that rolled up into one as his motive for Retribution, because look at the other members. You had Dijak, or T-Bar, whatever the frig his name is. He had belters with Keith Lee on NXT. Almost became North American champion a few times. Beat Keith Lee a few times. And then, injured, forgotten about, pushed to the wayside, Keith Lee starts feuding with Adam Cole. Shane Thorne, one half of TM61, the Mighty Don't Kneel, whatever you want to call them. Finalists in the Dusty Rhodes Cup in 2017, I think. They lost to AOP. And then Shane Thorne's tag team partner goes away. He quits the wrestling business, moves back to Australia. That could be like a motive there. Who else? Mia Yim. Now that we have returns on the NXT women's division with Ember Moon and Toni Storm, God yes, that division is stacked and it's easy to be forgotten. There is a thing for Mia Yim. Who else is in it? Dio Madden stands up to Brock Lesnar when he was announcing for Monday Night Raw. One of the best announcers in recent years because he was a giant nerd. Gets F5 through the table, and then, just like that, he's replaced. If you have all that in a big ball, and that's your motivation behind Retribution, I'm game. If it's just because F the establishment, then why do you have Raw contracts? It was funny. Sorry to go on here, but I was in the Thunderdome this week for Monday Night Raw. Finally got on after 5 tries, And I had Tom Phillips or whoever in my ear going like, okay, we're going to commercial. Okay, now we're back from commercial. Oh, here's Drew McIntyre. Let's see some cheers for Drew. And then the Hurt Business come out. I was like, okay, Hurt Business, how do we feel about them? I think he was encouraging us to boo them. I was cheering them. I friggin' love the Hurt Business now. And then when Retribution came out, I'm just like, I'm booing all the hell. It's like, oh, Ali, what do we think about this? And, I'm just like going like, delete, like, oh, wait, that'll get me kicked off. But it did. But it didn't. And I'll say this, at the very end of Raw, after it went off the air, like I was cheering for, here's Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. I was cheering for them. I'm cheering heels, and it doesn't get me kicked off. Points to you. So at the very end of Raw, when it's like, okay, and 3, 2, 1, and Raw's over, I swear to Gord, in between that and commercial breaks, I heard Kevin Dunn doing a countdown, and at the end of Raw, I swear I heard Vince. Like, okay, good show, guys. Thanks very much. But yeah, sorry to belt her on like that, but
it's still one of those things for me. It's like, yeah, as much as I would like to be a part of the Thunderdome, I just don't like the idea of being told, to react to this, especially if there's that possibility of getting kicked off for voicing your opinion. Well, now, I'm not saying something along the lines of, dressing up like a member of the Ku Klux Klan, or having a wrestler who literally murdered his family and then killed himself, or, something else that would have been offensive. No. I'm saying stuff like that does not deserve to be there. But if I'm basically being told, cheer this guy, it's like, no, this guy sucks, boo. And I'm going to get kicked off for that? No, thank you. But if it's not as bad as, but I mean, you seem like you had a lot of fun with it. I'm glad you did. That's what mattered. I will also say this, that one thing that was cool that I got the chance to enjoy from, was it this past week? Man, oh my gosh, I think I'm trying to get my weekends all figured out, because was it this past weekend I was down in Rockford? Yeah, it was. Yep, it was. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. This past weekend was fun. It was a great time. Got to go to ACW, got to hang out with a lot of the people. Definitely check out on my Instagram all the great people that you got the chance to talk about. I will say this, that every time that I do something with Joey Avalon, it's always something great. And the recent picture that he and I did was basically of him having his shovel, me having Randy Fitzsimmons' pool noodle, and just us doing like a sword fight with those things. To which it's just like, yes, it's stupid, it's silly. Joey thought it was cute. It's one of those things where I said, like, oh, dude, this is going to be like on the Christmas card. He's just rolling his eyes like, okay, whatever.
Did he tell you to shush?
He did not tell me to shush, which I think is funny in and of itself. He is actually going to be fighting Brian Myers on the 7th anniversary show in ACW on December 4th, so I'm looking forward to that. Well, I would love to do commentary for that show, because I did do that last year, but we'll kind of wait and see, because I know that there hasn't really been too much in the way of commentary for the last few shows, but maybe it's just a situation where, the guy who usually shows up just not able to make it, which understandably so, with the current state that our nation is under. I will also say this, that a rivalry was also buried this past weekend with myself and Salem Crane, because he's usually the guy that's just giving me crap and I'm giving him crap. Then literally he turns babyface. I stand up and applaud him after his matchup. He comes up to me, arms extended. He's like, come on, man, come on. And we actually shared a hug. It was kind of those things where it's like, oh, that's nice. This is nice. I also got to basically pull a freaking Daniel Bryan type deal where I called a Hollywood-looking guy a C player.
Oh.
And then he doesn't move, and I'm like, scratch that, C minus. I talked to him after the show, and I think during the emission, and he was just saying to me, I heard that. I was like, damn it, this guy's getting new material now. I got to figure out a way to get through this. Because the first one was Nickelodeon. Now it's just like, oh, C minus player.
Nickelodeon.
That was literally what we were doing during one of the shows, I was literally just going, Nickelodeon. Because literally he had the orange carpet, so... I mean, 2 and 2, man. What does that make? It was honestly a really good show. They also announced the tag team titles will be on the line as The Curse takes on the Players Club. They announced that the Brian Myers, Joey Avalon matchup, as well as Logan Lynch will take on Adam Grace in a tables match for the ACW heavyweight title. Oh, it's going to be absolutely awesome. It's going to be absolutely great. I also do know for a fact that I've already confirmed this with him because I had to double check it. I will get the chance to interview Mr. Swoggle himself come that December show. So for those of you that are kind of curious to know a little bit about him, definitely tune into that show because I will not only be asking questions about wrestling as well as his life, I'm also going to be asking questions based on his book. So definitely pick up a copy for that because I will be making a few references to those during the interview. So that's going to be taking place in December. I think that's going to be a great interview to end the year with. Just one of those guys I never thought I would actually say is a friend of mine, but I'm very happy to see that. And like I said, the minute he came up to me and just said, Grudman, I was literally like, yes, I made it in the business.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I've been looking forward to hearing, because you've been talking to Swoggle for a while, and I'm looking forward to it because he has led an interesting life. I've been meaning to get his book, but it's eluded me, and plus now I have like a reading pile. I just finished Chris Jericho's first book, and I'm getting into his second one slowly. So, it took me a year to read Chris Jericho's first book. So,
well, I gotta start really reading into it. Don't tell anybody, but I have not really read it yet. I've read the prologue at the beginning, but I've still got about a month at least to do it before we got the interview. It's fine. But yeah, had a matchup that will be uploaded to the YouTube on the wrestling show page, which will be hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I do also know that there should be a Notebook Entertainment episode, FML, that should feature myself as well as my friend Griff, hopefully in the next couple weeks too. So definitely people are going to have some vast entertainment when it comes to stuff for either Wrestle Addict Radio or for the Game Changer podcast. Either way, it's going to be absolutely awesome. Yeah, honestly, this weekend was a lot of fun. It was definitely one of those things that was kind of eye-opening, but also I will say this, that there was one guy that literally is kind of starting up a little bit. I think he calls it like he's got this promotion called like Underdog Championship Wrestling, if I'm not mistaken. So he's kind of looking to get things going for that, which is going to be awesome. He was kind of impressed with how well I did some of the selling that I did on there. And also, I will say the shout out goes out to Matt Jones for being such a good promoter as well as a great wrestler. I will say this: he stroked my ego so much this past weekend, where he literally was saying like, Nate is not only great, he's the effing show, and I'm just like, dude, just stop, just stop, because there's been so many moments where I've kind of gotten to contribute a couple things, and there's a couple moments where Matt has been like, what do you think about this deals? Because he is one of those guys who's told me that he likes, how, he likes to do like the start of the match as well as the beginning of the match. But as far as like the in-between deal, it's a little bit of a hazy process. So he'll kind of ask that because that's kind of something I try to do fine-tuning for, where it's like, well, we know how to get to the beginning, we know how to get the ending. Let's fine-tune some of the things that can get us to that point. So it's honestly going to be really great. There's a lot of stuff that is going to just absolutely just blow some people's minds, but also really get people interested into possibly the YouTube scene as well as the wrestling scene again. So hopefully we got that. Also, shout out to Chris Jericho, who celebrates 30 years this past week. Dude, that's an accomplishment. Also, the bubbly is back, baby!
Not in Canada. Chris, there's a liquor store right across the street where you could be selling this. Look after your fellow Canadians, please, Chris. I want some bubbly, and I'm not ordering shipping from the States out the ass. I don't think you can sell alcohol from US to Canada. That's why I still can't get Stone Cold Broken Skull IPA.
Oh, man. Dude, there's going to just come a point where I'm literally just going to get all this stuff ready, and the minute you come in here, we're just going to crack open a Stone Cold beer and drink a little bit of the bubbly. I am calling it right now.
Let's get the Coronas under control, and I've been talking to your fellow statesman and good friend J-Bone, and Wisconsin's not doing so hot for Rona, so I mean, God bless you guys, but jeez. I want that someday, man. Like WrestleMania, or heck, I'll go to an ACW show.
ACW, AEW, we'll figure something out. So, guys, we're going to take one quick final commercial break, and then when we come back, there's quite a few things to plug, but also the big announcement that is going to shake everything to its core. So stay tuned, guys. We will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Coda Jacobs, the crusader and visionary behind a brighter future in wrestling. If you're an honorable and noble public servant like myself, you are listening to the Game Changer Podcast.
So, you're going through your closet, trying to figure out your outfit for the day. You're looking, and that's when you realize, in that moment, you have absolutely nothing to wear. Well, you can always make sure you have fresh threads every single day of the week if you head over to our Wrestle, Addict, Radio, Teespring stores. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Your favorite professional wrestling podcasters have their own separate Teespring stores to complete your outfits from top to bottom. Looking for an accessory to carry around your cell phone and wallet? Why not pick up a fanny pack from the HBIC collection? Looking for something to keep you warm during the fall and winter months ahead? Get yourself a hoodie from the Delight collection or a fleece blanket from the King Ricky Rose collection. Trying to pick up a last minute gift or maybe just a birthday gift for the little one? Pick up a onesie from the Game Changer collection or a kids or toddlers t-shirt from the YLP collection for all the young cubs out there. And don't forget any of the other items from the Kings of the Rings, Fretzlemania, and the original Wrestle, Addict, Radio collections as well. So whether you're looking for a coffee mug for that fresh cup of joe, a tank top to show off the guns at the gym, or a comfy pair of socks or leggings, we've got you covered from top to bottom with our Wrestle, Addict, Radio, Teespring stores. Go to teespring.com, search for Wrestle Addict Radio, and fill up your wardrobe today.
My name's the Monday Night Delight, and my life has been pretty crazy. You see, I've been a wrestling fan since I was 10, and when I was 29, I started a wrestling show with my friend Mitchell called The Gift Podcast. You may have heard of it. It was great, but Mitchell met a girl that he thought was even greater, so he left the show when they got married, and I still love him. Anyway, I did the show by myself for a while, but that got hard, so I joined up with Rant with Ant and went to WrestleMania, where I met the Kings of the Rings, and that was awesome. Eventually, though, Rant with Ant went away, but Ant left us with Wrestle Addict Radio. Hooray! But then things got crazy in my life, and I decided to stop doing The Gift Podcast. For 4 months, I didn't do a show except when Goldberg won the Universal title from The Fiend. I mean, what was that all about? I was so mad and I had no outlet. It drove me crazy and I had to start a new show. The Delight Show. Every Wednesday, we talk about all elite wrestling, TNA, Impact Wrestling, pop culture, and if we really have to, the WWE. It's a fun time and I'd love for you to join me every Wednesday on The Delight Show on Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure for the common wrestling podcast. Bye!
Hey guys, it's the Princess of Pro Wrestling, SoCal Val. You are listening to Wrestle Addict Radio. I'm sending all the love from California. Mwah.
Oh, man. Guys, I can definitely proudly announce that Dal will be returning to Wrestle Addict Radio in a few short weeks. So definitely get ready for that. Welcome back to the Game Changer Podcast. I'm NateFNGreat, joined here by Mr. Fretz. And Fretz, we have so much that we have to plug here, man. Definitely got to give a shout out again to Apron Bump. Definitely check out the show that I did with him where we covered Final Resolutions 2005 at Apron Bump. Definitely check them out. Give him a follow and definitely listening to all his stuff. It's absolutely amazing. Definitely check out the Rant Foundation, who are just absolutely flourishing again as to be expected because they're absolutely amazing. Definitely check out Issa, Phil, as well as Rand. And the fact of the matter is that their Patreon has featured the 5-second rule, and it's absolutely amazing. Life is good. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just absolutely a fun time. But, of course, we cannot forget about Wrestle Addict Radio at Addict_Wrestle. Definitely check out us at the Game Changer Podcast. The gift, not the Gifted Podcast, I'm sorry, that Mance thing just threw me off for a little bit.
The Light Show.
The Delight Show. Thank you very much. The Young Lions Perspective, as well as the Kings of the Rings podcast, where you can check out all of the great stuff, including Teesprings, where we have great merchandise, Patreon, as well as check out every single podcast that they have in order. It's just absolutely amazing. We're on so many different formats, you guys. Ambiguous Productions, Amazon Music, Spotify, you name it. We are literally there. Just type in Wrestle Addict Radio and you're going to find us there. This has been one of the craziest times to be a part of Wrestle Addict Radio.
I am, and I'm loving it, bro. I just uploaded before we started recording. My Fretz's Fay 5 is back. I took a little hiatus because I was on vacation for a week. And then the week I got back from vacation, I'm like, well, I'm not going to be able to record content between now and the time I release it, which is usually Sunday mornings. So I have a spooktacular theme for October. You can take a guess as to what it is. Boo earns. Yeah, top 5 scariest wrestlers is coming up. I have top 5. I'm gonna have to dig for this one, but I want to do top 5 scariest bumps, or spots in a match or injuries or whatever. So kind of like Mick Foley jumping off the cell is going to be definitely one of them. And another Halloween themed where I go over my favorite costumes that wrestlers dressed up as on Halloween.
Nice. That sounds like an absolutely wonderful time. So, guys, giving you guys a preview of what you can expect from us at the Game Changer Podcast over the next few weeks. Next week, we are going to be reviewing WCW Slamboree 2000. Why? Because it does feature that triple cage match in the main event. And because we're glutton for punishment. Oh, boy. We need something that's going to be insurmountably good to get over this. Mr. Fretz, what are we going to be reviewing in 2 weeks, my friend?
Halloween Havoc 1993, which features a Texas death match between Big Van Vader and Cactus Jack, a WCW title match between Rick Rude and Ric Flair, the Nasty Boys versus, I believe it's Marcus Alexander Bagwell and the Patriot. I think it's against Stars and Stripes. I know it's against a Buff Bagwell team.
Jeez Louise.
But yeah, I was going to do Halloween Havoc 92, which had Sting versus Jake the Snake in a coal miner's glove match. But as soon as I saw Vader and Cactus Jack, knowing that this is well after their famous bout in Germany where Mick Foley lost his ear and then almost died, I think that I've never seen a frame of this. I haven't seen anything from WCW from, other than Bips and Bops. I only started watching WCW in 95. So this is going to be completely new to me.
Mm-hmm.
And because Halloween's coming up, shout out to Kate Murphy, big fan of Halloween, big fan of Shotzi Blackheart, hosting NXT Halloween Havoc. Oh my gosh. It'll tie in greatly with that, by the way. It'll tie in greatly with that.
Damn right. I could probably announce that on October 25th, you guys, will be the return, like I said, of SoCal Val. She'll be joining myself as well as a mystery co-host as we are going to be just shooting the breeze, having a fun time, joining it in something we like to call a Sunday conversation. It is going to be absolutely great. And it's also going to be a bit of a special week because then we will on to Halloween, which is going to be Saturday, October 31st. It's going to be a special time. But it's also going to be a bit of a bittersweet time because, ladies and gentlemen, I am here to announce that on October 31st, on that day, the Game Changer Podcast will be leaving Wrestle Addict Radio. It is one of those things where I know it's a bit of a shock. It is one of those things that it has been kind of brewing for quite a while. And the main thing I could tell you guys as to why it's happening is just creative differences. I saw Wrestle Addict Radio going one direction. There's been a different direction that Wrestle Addict Radio is going. So it's not one of those things where it is me feeling, bitter about this or vice versa. It's just one of those things where I feel like it is time for the Game Changer Podcast to take time away to just kind of reevaluate. Definitely going to be here for everybody at Wrestle Addict Radio because you guys are definitely a major part of my life, and you definitely have given me so much to remember in the year and a half, but this is one of those things where I definitely do feel that this needs to be done, so I'm going to definitely say this right now to everybody. Kate Murphy, Zach, Will, Ricky, Mance, and even to my good co-host, Mr. Fretz, thank you guys so much, but I will say this is not going to be goodbye, and we still have 3 more shows to go for, actually 4 if you include the one with myself, Val, and the mystery ghost. Trust me, it's going to be an absolutely awesome show. You definitely don't want to miss that. So that is the announcement, you guys. Like I said, Game Changer Podcast will be on Wrestle Addict Radio on the 31st for the last time. At least currently, I'm never going to say never when it comes to this. Could we come back? Maybe. Or maybe it's a situation where, this is a chapter that is being closed, but at the same time, it's a chapter I definitely do not have any regrets about.
Absolutely, man. And it's been an honor and a blast being on here with you. Those of you might wonder, what does that mean for Fretz? I don't know yet. I mean, I've still been, plugging out stuff for Patreon, and I hope to still do that. So just, keep your ears to the ground, and I know there's going to be one hell of a replacement for you. That is a damn guarantee.
I'm definitely looking forward to hearing who that replacement's going to be. It is somebody that I do truly believe that is going to definitely continue to pave the way and get Wrestle Addict Radio into that next stratosphere. So, with that being said, you guys, we still got, like I said, about 3-4 more shows to do, and you're going to be seeing nothing but just absolute amazement as well as absolute agony. I will say this, the agony will continue going into next week because we are talking 2000 WCW next week. But after that, it's going to be fun. And I'm also going to do something special, you guys, for that final episode on Halloween. We could have made it a Halloween episode, but I want to make it something for the people. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell everybody that wants to do this, if you have any questions that you would like to send to the Game Changer Podcast on that final episode, Wrestle Addict Radio, please, by all means, send it to me via Instagram, via Twitter at RealFNGame, or even to Mr. Fretz himself at the legendary JF. And you could do it one of 2 ways. You could either write it out, or you can send us a sound clip, and we will play it on the show because we do value you guys, because you are a part of the wrestling community and you are a part of the Wrestle Addict Radio family. And we want to have your voice be heard. So by all means, you guys, like I said, let us know what you want us to know. Let us know your questions. Let your voice be heard because we truly believe that your voice matters.
Send me a DM if anyone wants to DM me about this. DM me. Don't just at me Twitter because it'll get lost in my notifications. And because chances are I'm just doing something at my desk at work, and then I'll lose it. So please, if you have a question that you want to use me for, DM. If you have me on Facebook, DM me on there, or on Twitter. I do not accept body part tweets, please. So
because they're foreign objects.
Yes. Also yes. So yeah, any one of those ways would be fantastic. Even if it's no, don't put a comment under something on one of my Patreons because I'll also lose it. Jermaine, I'm getting to one of your things about NXT UK, so just sit and hold tight, buddy. That's going to be... I have the rest of the year for the Fave 5 mapped out. It's in November, so sit tight, Jermaine. Love you. Go Chiefs.
Fair enough. Well, I will say this. You can either tag me on Twitter or you can slide into my DMs, like I said. But be sure to at least get your questions in before the 25th of October. That will be the final deadline for the show. Like I said, we want your voice to be heard. And you know what? We may just share a couple of great stories that we have as far as wrestling goes, as well as Wrestle Addict Radio deals. So definitely, it's going to be a bit of a tell-all, but it's also going to be a bit of a Q&A. We want your voice to be heard. Let's do it, you guys. Let's have ourselves an absolutely fantastic deal on October 31st. Make it something more than just about candy. I'm just saying. So, for Mr. Fretz, I've been NateFNGreat. We have been the Game Changer Podcast, part of Wrestle Addict Radio. You guys definitely check us out on so many podcasting formats. And also remember to stay safe, be smart, stay positive, and know that you can make a difference one day or one moment at a time. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Wakanda forever.
This has been a Wrestle Addict Radio branded podcast.